Growing up in the Soviet Union, around age 5, I used to play a game I invented. I would put on my mom's heels, my dad's hat, and walk around the house, feeling very fancy. I'd speak a made-up language, and my parents would chuckle, "Uh-oh, there's a foreigner in the house." That was my communist childhood dream, to become a foreigner. I'd never seen a foreigner. The borders were closed. But even as a 5-year-old, I thought the grass was greener on the other side of the Iron Curtain. That's where all the coveted stuff came from. My dad's jeans, illegal in the USSR. My mom's platforms, impossible to get. And the idea that over there, you can buy whatever you want. Imagine that. Years later, I majored in English and immigrated to the United States on my own. I became the foreigner of my childhood dreams. At age 30, I had a job at a top interior design firm in New York, an apartment next to Central Park, and a tradition of buying myself a designer handbag on every birthday. But the irony was, I felt like a foreigner to myself. I felt fake. Each project left me less and less fulfilled. Then I get the ultimate project, the presidential suite at the legendary Hotel Bel Air in Los Angeles. For a hotel designer, it doesn't get better than this. I should be on top of the world, but I can't shake the feeling that I'm putting on a show and only pretending to enjoy it. The renovations start, a total makeover. I work my ass off making sure every inch of this sprawling $25,000 per night suite is perfect. And I burn out. I quit my job, give up my apartment, and get a one-way ticket to India. Why? Because eat, pray, love. The movie came out around the same time, and it was contagious. It gave every burnt-out New Yorker the travel bug. I spent months at an ashram in India, sitting for hours in silence with a single question. Who am I? One day, I'm meditating in a holy cave by the Ganges River. All of a sudden, my brain chatter stops. My whole life story falls away. There's no more fake self. It feels so liberating, I run out of the cave and kiss a boulder. Triumphant, I return to the world. I travel all over, get married in Bali to an artist from New York. We move to Japan and make a new life. Only I still feel like I'm pretending to be someone I'm not. Well, if Eat, Pray, Love taught us anything, it's that we should go very far to find ourselves. This time, I go to the end of the world, on a silent retreat in New Zealand. 2 weeks of letting go, detachment, and jet lag. On the final day, I'm walking alone on the beach. I stop and look back. My footprints have been washed away, gone, like I was never here. One day, I will be gone without a trace. The thought fills me with a silent sorrow. I ask myself an unexpected question. If I had my last wish, what would it be? A faint voice inside answers. I'd like to tell my whole life story to someone who'd listen, What? Tell my life story? That's my wish? I'm dismayed, really. That's the one thing I'm not supposed to want. I'm supposed to find my true self by transcending my story in silence. That's what I learned in the East. But I've always been rebellious. I decide I'm going to do it. I'm going to tell the story of my life to someone who'd listen. All of it, start to finish. The problem? I've no idea who would actually sit through the whole thing. I don't want to dump it on my husband or friends. I mean, I don't know how long this one-sided conversation would take. Days, weeks, months, maybe. I'd like to stay married. I don't consider going to a therapist because I don't feel I need fixing. I just need a listener. Well, listeners are in very short supply. What else can I do? Go up to a stranger? Hi, how are you? Would you like to hear my whole life story? Life goes on. Pandemic hits. Life stops. My husband and I relocate to Canada. And my wish is all but forgotten. Then one day, I hear Jane Fonda on a podcast. She talks about reinventing herself over and over again. I'm all ears. She says she didn't know who she was until she spent the year before she turned 60 reviewing her entire life story. It's a thing, she says. It's called a life review. I jump out of my chair. It's the thing I've been looking for. I look up, life review. You tell your entire life story one-on-one to a trained listener. Perfect, not a therapist. But my excitement is short-lived. Even though life review has been practiced since the 60s, it's still quite obscure. I can't find any trained listeners. Finally, I get connected to one listener who happens to be a retired Lutheran minister. Sharing my personal details with a former minister isn't just embarrassing. It's hard as hell. I sweat buckets on Zoom, like I'm in a confessional. He doesn't flinch. He listens and asks questions that help me open up. Session by session, I fess up my whole life story, starting with my childhood memories. And then I see it, the big picture. Here I am, 5 years old, innocently inventing the fancy foreigner persona. And here I am, 40 years later, still playing the part. No wonder I felt like an imposter all those years. To break free from that feeling, I tried moving forward, changing. Only the more I changed, the more I stayed the same. I tried standing still, sitting in silence. It worked, as long as I stayed in the cave. What I really needed was to go back, to let myself be fully seen, to give a voice to the little girl I'd buried underneath a childhood game of make-believe. The best part? Finding my voice revealed my true calling. Today, I listen to other people's life stories, so they don't feel like foreigners in their own lives.